Synth Fertility is still one of the strongest, if not the strongest build in all of Stellaris, and in today's Stellaris video, we're going to show you guys how you can maximize this build and have a ton of fun being extremely overpowered. Since the last Synth Fertility video I made, a few new ways to optimize this build have been discovered. The first one you might notice that we're starting as a lithoid. The advantage of this is it starts us with lithoid pops, which allow us to use special traits such as scintillating skin, which will give us access to one of the 3 rare resources immediately at the beginning of the game. And the second trick is a small edit to the build order, which lets us scale a little bit faster than we used to. Another thing that we're doing is we're taking Dark Consortium and Genesis Guides. Dark Consortium, of course, gives us access to dark matter, giving us the trait that gives plus 40% resources from jobs, and Genesis Guides gives us an access to bio pop growth as soon as we can uplift a pop, giving us extremely overpowered pop growth and also good little bits of unity here and there, which will help us take our tradition trees faster. In addition, we're egalitarian and thematic materialist. This is pretty standard for Synth Fertility. And for galaxy settings, we are playing with 12 advanced start AI empires. This will make it a little bit harder for us to outscale them. On 25x crisis, and we're using normal multiplayer growth settings. What does this mean? It means our technology cost and tradition cost are going to be on 0.75 each, and very importantly, difficulty adjusted technology costs are off. With this on, tech is as difficult as the tech beta, if anybody remembers that period of time. Basically, your tech will be about twice as slow. We want to generally avoid this for most games, other than maybe like extreme long role-playing games. Yeah. In addition, we are playing with 1.25 times habitable worlds. This will just make it more likely for me to get more planets in this test run, so I don't get like a crazy bad spawn with no planets and not be able to show off the power of this build. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started. So, what are the first things we're going to want to do with any build? Is there a few changes that I kind of want to show you guys? Is like details everyone can do to maximize their early game. So the first thing for Synth Fertility, at least, is with Dark Consortium, is if you don't have the dark matter station researched, you want to research that right away. And secondly, you're going to want to sell enough of your other resources, sell whatever you need, to be able to get 400 minerals right away and start building a research lab. The reason it's so important to start building this lab right away is that we're very going to quickly get some extra pops from being Synth Fertility, and they'll be unemployed by default. And if they're unemployed for too long, you're going to have to pay extra consumer good upkeep to keep them around. So we're going to want to avoid that and switch to that right away. For technologies, basically for energy, we do anything that gives us extra energy. For engineering, we are looking very specifically for the powered exoskeletons trait. If we don't get it, that's okay, but if we do get it, we should research it instead of robots or drones, because it'll help us finish our last engineering tech to synth ascend faster. And for society, this is a lot of information, but if you see planetary unification or hydroponics farming, go ahead and take these. If you see anything else, leave the society tree blank, as we're going to be building up society tech to speed it up later. If you don't know what this means, essentially when you don't select a tech to research in Stellaris, that tech is not wasted. It goes into a bank, which can then be consumed later, and is consumed at the rate of twice your actual research speed. So you can basically bank up tech to spend later, and it's a very good way to artificially rush down certain techs that you want very quickly. And well, what techs are we trying to rush down? Well, in this case, we have Genesis Guides, so we're trying to rush down the Genesis tech, which we get access to once we make our first colony. And our first planet has 2 Savannah worlds. That's crazy. One of these is not my guaranteed. The other one is in the Cirrus system here. And how did I know my guaranteed system was here? Well, one very important factor for this build is we have the soul start. So let's go over the build now. In this build, we're playing, of course, Synth Fertility, Fanatic Materialist, Egalitarian, Dark Consortium, and Genesis Guides. For our species, as shown earlier, we have Lithoid, Pathological Genes, Intelligent, Scintillating Skin, and Natural Engineers. What was I trying to say? Sorry, I have a really short attention span. And very importantly, however, we are starting on the soul start. So if you take a look at the soul system, there are a lot of planetary bodies, And this is important because when we get arc furnaces, the more systems we have, the better that is going to be for our arc furnaces. So very important there to kind of make sure you take Soul for this build. As the downside of Soul is you normally get a size 18 homeworld, but with Synth Fertility you get a size 21 guaranteed every time, and that is of course really powerful to have a large homeworld and the benefits of having such a good arc furnace system. So always make sure you take Soul for this build. And her Cirrus is a double planet as well. That is actually really lucky. Um, always click we must ward off those who threaten us. This will give us aggressive first contact protocol, which will allow us to assimilate any pre-FTLs if we do hit them. To find any pre-FTLs quickly on unserved systems, simply take your construction ship and right click on the systems, and if one of these options that appear here, like build mining stations, build starbase outposts, if it ever says build observation posts, there's a pre-FTL in that system. There isn't here. I don't think you can get pre-FTLs in your guaranteed systems, but we do get a lot of planets here, which is really nice. For our first tradition trees, not prosperity, my bad, statecraft. This is a little deviation from I think my previous build, and basically we want to take statecraft to pass agendas faster and get leader XP for passing agendas. And in case you guys don't know why that matters, basically we can use agendas to help skip through techs and level up our leaders, which are like a 2-for-1 kind of good deal. Also for your leaders, always make sure you to take a look at which leader traits you get. You're looking for this charismatic trait that gives edict funds, and this spark of genius trait, which gives you a higher chance to roll arc furnaces. These are both very important. I'm lucky enough to have both already. And if you see anyone with charismatic, basically hire them, as we want to increase our edict fund as much as possible. This is a crazy lucky spawn. Not only are these a lot of planets, these are also planets which are specifically habitable for our species, which is really incredible. Now it doesn't matter so much because after we synth ascend, we actually don't need. Oh shoot! I don't think I pulled this out in time. Let's see if we can turn around in time before it gets aggroed by that. I think we did. Okay, nice. And here we're gonna take amongst peers. This gives all counselors 150 EXP when we pass an agenda. This basically converts passing agendas into leader EXP, which is definitely really worth it. Another thing we can do here is we can actually use crystalline sensors to explore without putting our ships in danger. And what? Wow, we got the. Did we get the Tomb worlds as well? Tomb worlds are actually not a bad thing for this build. They're really good, actually. The reason why Tomb worlds are good for this build is we can habit basically any planet. As we're gonna get a lot of buffs to our, yeah, we do get the Ruined Worlds event chain there, so there's gonna be I think 6 Tomb Worlds there, which is really incredible. Like, even though they're Tomb Worlds, yeah, robots can habit them with 50%, and then we'll take a trait which gets plus 30, so it'll immediately be at 80% habitability, and then we'll be able to uplift pops, which actually have perfect habitability also. And also, I've been forgetting to build all labs on my capital. This is probably because I'm yapping so hard. Trying to explain everything, but yeah, just remember to keep your capital building all the time. Yeah, look at the crazy amount of Tomb Worlds here. So yeah, this is gonna definitely satiate my planet hunger. Yeah, this is really excellent. With this many planets, I can show you guys the strongest possible version of this build. Basically, the more planets you get with this build, the better. All meta builds these days basically want to go as wide as possible. There's really little benefit to. Ooh, this is a tough one. I think we're gonna take Scrapper here just to give the +1 metallurgist job. Skirmisher is always great. It gives sublight speed, which actually helps you survey faster. So it's like a 2-for-1, like good deal for that. And here we're just gonna take Expand the Council for our first real agenda. Yeah. Anyhow, as I was saying, the more planets you get, the better for basically every build these days. And one of the crazy things you can do is on this build, you can basically grow pops faster than you can possibly build planets. So the more planets you get, you can start building things like 2 mineral worlds at the same time, 2 energy worlds, 2 alloy and consumer good worlds. We definitely have enough worlds here so that we're going to be probably looking at 2 mineral worlds, at least 1 energy world, and then a second one later on. Um, and 1 world for consumer goods and 1 world for alloys. Probably our capital should always be one of those industrial worlds. And then in addition, on every single building slot on those resource worlds, energy and minerals, we are basically going to build only labs. Every single building slot shall be a lab, and we're going to be increasing our tech by more than 1k per 10 years if we're playing optimally, which is going to be really ridiculous. Um, you guys will see the power of synth fertility and why it's almost universally banned in multiplayer, which is why you kind of can play it for fun in single player and just dominate the AI, or kind of feel what it's like to scale into late game 50 to 100 years earlier than you could with most other builds in the game. I will say, the build I showed earlier with DA Arc Furnace actually will have a much stronger year 30, 35. The strength of this build comes in after that, which is the build with its ability to scale up tech so seamlessly, and of course all resources with the incredible pop growth amounts. But yeah, with DA Arc Furnace also being a heavily restricted build in most multiplayer lobbies, being that it's a total war, and just look at the amount of planets. Why is there so many planets? Uh, I never get this in multiplayer, by the way. I'm not playing on 5x planets, remember. You guys saw I'm playing on 1.25x planets. There's only 25% more planets than a standard lobby. And I only selected that because I don't want to get a super low roll spawn with like 3 planets, and then I'm stuck with 3 planets playing, a tall build. Also, as you see, I didn't get the 2 techs that I was really looking for. Also, let's quickly go to factory capital just before you run out of consumer goods. Generally a good idea. Let's go ahead. Oh, we get machine template. This is a tough one. We get so many good techs here, but we got to take powered exoskeletons, right? Ooh, we need to retreat this as well. A lot of stuff is going on, right? But yeah, also disable this right away. We don't want to work that, as it's just going to waste jobs and alloys on stuff we don't need. Yeah, and just remember to replace all your buildings on your capital slowly with research labs. And here's the next thing I want to show you guys. Is planetary automation is very useful. If you don't want to use it for anything else, use it for crime. Because sometimes you don't need to work in an enforcer, and sometimes you do, and it's very annoying to check on this constantly. And what you do is deselect everything except for crime, right? And then turn on automation. And then in addition, shift and click on everything you want to be off by default. This means every time you select planetary automation on a new planet, it'll be off by default. And if you ever want to change what's on or off by default, then you use control plus click, and it'll toggle it on and off for every planet with automation on. So you can very, very easily manage your planets, and into late game, you can get it to take over basically everything. While in the early game, you can get it to take care of token things like crime. And eventually you can also toggle it on for amenities, and then eventually building slots and blocker clearing, and then eventually everything. When you have like 15 to 20 planets, that's when I would say it becomes not fun to manage all your planets manually, even though you can still do it more efficiently than the AI, and that's the point in time where I would switch to automation. So, as I mentioned before, right, more planets is better. So what are we going to do with all our planets? As I mentioned already, we're going to have 2 mining planets, one planet for alloys, 1 planet for consumer goods. We'll both turn these into accumulinopolises eventually, so we can do a truly ridiculous amount of alloys and consumer goods. And then 2 energy worlds dedicated, and maybe a couple more depending on how many districts we get on them. So what are we going to do after that? Well, after that, basically every world needs to be turned into either a rare resources world or one that is just covered with bunkers, basically increasing our naval cap, right? Because in order to beat the hardest difficulty of Crisis, it is highly recommended to max out your naval cap. I believe naval cap is capped at 10,000, and it won't go any higher. I've actually never got there. Lag always wins at the end of the day. Lag is truly the most overpowered endgame crisis. Um, but yeah, it is definitely worth it to get to that point, as we could definitely need it for our super late game crisis runs. Um, Also, our alloys will become a problem at that point, so we can either even add another alloy cumulonimbus or two in case we want more. Of course, we can accomplish the same economy by vassalizing a good chunk of the galaxy, so that's another good option there. But once again, with a lot of my builds, I like to show most of the progression without taking any vassals. It's not always easy to get them in multiplayer, and it is even not always easy to get them in single player, as Grand Admiral AIs are really quite strong in the early game, especially when you give them advanced starts. So yeah. Anyhow, as you can see, we are also taking advantage of the crystal trait to explore into the galaxy. This basically just gives you +1 sensor range, which means you can safely check each system for hostiles before moving into it, and you never really lose your ships this way, and you can much more quickly explore out into the galaxy, which is definitely what we're looking for here. So um, yeah, anyways, for techs, we continue to just focus on economy. Colony development speed does help our economy, because when we do get colony ships, you'll want to develop those as fast as possible. Um, so that's good. On our capital, the best trait you can get is architectural interest, as one of our biggest limiting factors is planetary build speed. Um, so yeah, if you get architectural interest, I would highly recommend taking it. And just look for it every 5 years if you don't happen to have it. Also remember to build your hydroponics bay, otherwise there's no point in taking the tech if you don't actually take the hydroponics bay itself. And also remember to turn on capacity subsidies when you finish your capacity subsidies tech. I often forget to do this, and then wonder why my economy is looking so bad. Also, we can go ahead and take mining stations that we're good on, and yeah, we can just make sure we're also surveying out into the galaxy. Once we get powered exoskeletons, we can then take artificial specialists. We don't, if you ever see exoskeletons, take it right away. The reason for this is it's going to update our agendas after we take this to give us one that allows us to skip the last synthetic tech, which is a 15k research. And skipping 25% of 15k research is giving us 2.5k, more than 2.5k. What is it? What is a quarter of 15? It's like 3.75k tech back, and it only costs a 1.5 thousand tech to do. In addition, we get powered exoskeletons for this entire time, which will boost our basic economy just a tiny little bit. So as you can see, that is quite useful, skipping over 1,500 techs worth of engineering tech. Definitely a good time saver, and allow us to maintain a better basic economy while synthetically ascending decently faster than we would otherwise. Also, let's take a look at our planets. That's an energy planet. That's an energy planet. Any mineral planets? Only one available mineral district there. Maybe we'll find a mineral planet among these two desert worlds. We actually don't have to take this system right away. Only 4 physics deposit is like not a really significant deposit. If you ever see good space, aka like high minerals, high energy, go ahead and take that space immediately. If you don't, you can just sit on it unless you're, you know, kind of in a struggle to expand in multiplayer or something like that. So yeah, anyhow, as you can see, we are definitely expanding out pretty well. We are going to delete our food district now, as it's one of the faster ways to get access to another lab spot. We're not actually going to delete this robot assembly plant, as we're going to need it later. So deleting it just to rebuild it is a bit unnecessary, though if you want to maximally rush ascension time, it is worth. You'll just be really strapped for minerals later on. Um, so I generally prefer not to do that. We are also going to tune down our mineral buy now, as we want to start building up energy credits to start clearing these blockers occasionally. And what do we get here? Is there 1.2k? Is that a? That's a really big fleet. Where'd it come from though? Is this like an amoeba or something? This could be from the new DLC, or it's just some 1.2k amiibo. I don't remember there being a 1.2k amiibo though. Yeah, I haven't played too much since the Galactic Curators DLC. To be honest, it hasn't added anything that's too meta shifting in my opinion. Um, yes, there are some like funny space fauna builds and stuff there floating out there, but none of them really compare to the old powerhouses. And I definitely don't really like the playstyle. If I do find anything fun with it, I will of course share it. We'll find out a lot when the next multiplayer tournaments come around and see what people are playing then. Before that, I'm personally not playing as much multiplayer as I used to, meaning I'm not getting as frequent of like meta updates basically. So the builds I play are definitely still pretty strong, and you're not going to learn anything that's like completely untrue or something like that. But there might be some new awesome builds floating around out there that I just haven't quite caught on to yet. And when I see them being used or played, I will definitely share them, and I'll learn how to play them and try to mini max them a little bit, and then show you guys what I come up with. So yeah, definitely stay tuned. Anyhow, as you can see, we're just converting our home planet into just labs. Yeah, I think we'll just take the better of the two planets, which is this one, the size 18 with more generator districts first. Here we get another energy one, and let's see if any of these are mineral planets. That's not a mineral planet, and that is not done surveying yet. So yeah, we definitely want to find a good mineral planet. Oh, that is now complete. Oh, perfect. High quality minerals on this planet. Also high quality generators. But since we have a lot of energy plants and not a lot of mineral plants, I'll probably use as they'll definitely probably be used as a mineral planet. So not bad. We found our first two starting planets. That's good. We definitely want to find at least one more mineral planet. As I mentioned, we'll be limited by build speed, which of course means we need to be building at all times. And if we ever run out of minerals, which we will briefly just after we ascend, but that won't be very good. So yeah. Another tip with this build, right, is right now we can't build any colony ships because we are synthetic, or no, we're synthetic. Because we are synth fertility, and synth fertility, of course, cannot breed. As you can see, 0% habitability, no button to colonize. If we go to shipbuilder, colony ship, where's our colony ship? Oh, nothing, no colonists, right? And the way we can overcome this is once we get drones, we can make our first colony ships. So that's going to be very soon. Also, in addition, as you notice, I still haven't taken the society tree. That's, once again, I'm building up tech. And now that our traditions look like this, 2 points in statecraft, 1 point in prosperity, we stop taking traditions altogether. And basically, we're just building up unity to finish the synthetic tradition tree as soon as we can. In addition, if your alloys aren't looking very good, like you don't happen to get the +1 alloy trait, you should always build an industrial district that will let you build colony ships as soon as you can. It is definitely really important to get those colony ships out as soon as possible, as this build already has really low pops at like year 10-ish. So having just a few more pops at that time can make a big difference. And now we're going to take artificial administration. As you can see, the tech is a big one, 15k, pretty expensive. That's why we want to try to skip as much of it as we can. Let's actually colonize the mineral planet first, as we almost always have larger mineral problems with this build than you do with... Ooh, we get another scrapper. I think we take scrapper too, right? This is basically an industrial district in the cheapest way possible, which is pretty cool. Which is really nice. If you see a consumer good job, you can do the same thing and then turn your capital from factory capital to empire capital. That way you can get consumer good jobs and alloy jobs, right? So it's very flexible. In if you get leaders that give you jobs, it's definitely always a good thing. We'll just take engineer 2 here. That's not too important. As you can see, also we're just stuck on the one surveying ship. We really don't need to survey faster than that. as long as we can secure these planets, that's all we really want. We don't need to rush our precursor. We don't need to rush um, anything like that. Just one science ship in the early game, saving all the alloys you can, is definitely advisable. In addition, you can buy some alloys with any extra energy credits you have, as long as you're also remembering to build up your capital, right? And this is probably the final lab. This will probably bring us to about 300 tech. The reason this is our final lab is we want to save one building slot in our capital for the alloy foundries and one for the civilian industries buildings, respectively, to increase the output for that when we get the techs for that. Anyhow, yeah, as you can see, the early game of this build is not particularly good. We will have 300 tech at year 10, which is quite good, but it's not amazing, right? Void Forge can have more. But the real power of this build is the pop growth you get after synthetically ascending is truly, truly nuts. And is not something that can be matched by almost any other build in the game except for ascending as robots. Then you get close. Um, but right, you don't get the dual biopop growth, and even if you do, you definitely cannot ascend this early while also having any amount of technology, right? And this build can both have technology, decent unity, and having already ascended by like year 12 or 13. So yeah, that's the goal, by the way, is ascending before year 13. If you're really good, you can probably ascend at like year 11 sometimes, but it's not necessary to do that. So as long as you do ascend before year 13, that is the goal, right? So another thing we can do here is when these get relatively inexpensive to pass, I like about 600 unity. You can just go ahead and pass it. Then we can go ahead and add a Shadow Weaver, right? And a Shadow Weaver is a really nice council position. It gives us additional, what's it called? Dark matter. We should go up to +1 dark matter here. Yep. And if you can find a level 3 scientist to put in this slot, that's ideal, but we don't have an extra one. Right, so instead we just put an extra official on our counselor. But if you have a level 3 scientist, because this is level 3, right, we want the highest level leader is the biggest priority, and then we want a scientist as like a tiebreaker, so we can't do that right now, so of course we're going to do that. And here we can take this tech here, synthetic evolution, and this agenda is what will allow us to skip 25% of this engineering tech, which is why we took powered exoskeletons, because otherwise if you haven't taken powered exoskeletons, this agenda will still be powered exoskeletons, and skipping 25% of a 1500 tech value tech is just, well, I don't have to explain why that's not very good. I hope I at least don't at least. And also we can sell this extra dark matter there. That'll just help us out a little bit. And this is what I love about Doom Worlds, is they actually have really good basic resource districts, like better than average planets, right? So with this build specifically, Doom Worlds are freaking great. Like, they are awesome. I would definitely be really happy to see the Tomb World event chain for this build. So anyways, I should remember to keep exploring out into the galaxy here. Right, exploring the galaxy is always worth it. If you remember to. It's not a huge deal if you don't, because the chance you find the good enclaves, those being the Shroudwalkers and the Curators that boost your tech and governor efficiency respectively, is just a free, like, small thing you can do that'll make a big difference in your economy. Right, so that's always good. This is colonizing now, which is also great. Just kind of waiting on that now. Before we can start uplifting our pops like crazy. And it should be pretty fast too, since we've been building up society tech for so long without researching anything. So that is also excellent. Once we get our first 2 colony ships down, we don't have to focus as hard on making sure we're rolling colony ships out. But if your economy can afford it in any way possible, it is still a good thing to roll out any additional colony ships. Let's see, we're going to take one of these 2 worlds as... Are we colonizing this world already? Yeah, okay. Probably take this one just as close, and we'll use this as a energy tech hybrid. We still need a second mineral planet, which will probably be one of these tomb worlds with more mineral districts. We don't get any tomb worlds with too many mineral districts, but this one's not bad, right? Size 21 with 7. That'll definitely be a competent second mineral planet, so nothing wrong with that. Also, we get chemical plants here. Great. Now we only need exotic gases, so now we have 2 of the 3 rare resource traits, and this is why starting with crystals or gases or something is great. You generally shouldn't start with motes because it's not as used for early game, and it's easiest to roll because our engineering tree is stuck researching synth stuff for the first 11 years, and the physics tree is just researching whatever you can, right? So this physics tree will always be like a few years ahead of our engineering tree, even though we have the plus engineering trait and all that good stuff. So that is just something to keep in mind. As you can see, we're also edging closer to 300 tech. Our basic resources are looking really bad now that not all of these are even employed. Also, we should remember to keep our technicians employed over our mineral jobs and just buy those minerals with those technician jobs, because our technician jobs, look at the efficiency, 10.6 versus 4.9. That's like more than twice, right? So where the buy price is only 1.3, right? So as long as that is checking out, we should always prioritize the energy jobs, which is always something I forget about. But yeah, you should definitely not forget about that too. It makes a big difference. If we take this plant, we can't get the 6 trade value. Our collection range is only 2, so it only reaches as far as here. If we could, it might be worth it to take that, but I think instead we'll take more colonies. Not having to take more systems before taking more colonies is really nice, I have to say. That is definitely quite helpful. But yeah, even if you guys don't get this many plants, basically just scale down what I said earlier. When I said 2 mineral worlds, instead go 1 mineral world. 2 energy worlds, go 1 mineral world, right? And it's still extremely powerful. You just will be hitting 3k tech at year 50 instead of 4k, or maybe not 50, but year 60. You definitely would say it would be a very good run if you hit 4k tech or 3k tech at year 50. But it is possible. It is definitely possible, and at the same time producing 500 or 600 alloys too. So it's not like you're a slouch on that end. That is assuming you roll arc furnaces decently early. Otherwise, they'll still be in construction, and you'll be like 300 alloys instead, which is definitely nothing to complain about. But that's not enough to match alloy rushing builds military power. It's just, of course, their tech won't be able to keep up with you. So as long as you're alive, you'll be outscaling them basically. Anyhow, first 2 buildings, or first 2 things to build, 2 mineral districts, and we're gonna immediately go to our species. Take a look at our pre-patent species here. Bazati, so species, Bazati, uplift, right? Oh, I completely forgot we need this tech first. Look at that, only 16 months. So yeah, that's definitely the advantage of building it, remembering to build up your society tech. Yeah, the second planet here will be our generator planet. So we can start doing that soon. Awesome. Yeah, I think we can just let this agenda finish. It's not really worth spending Unity to finish it, as we kind of want the finish of this to line up with that. So time to launch. You know what? We'll definitely actually have to skip it. 39 months to launch. Our tech will almost be done, right? So if you want to, you can click this before it'll launch your tech right away, so you don't have to do any math. That's probably what we'll do here. Let's just click that. We want here. Probably just adaptionist. We don't need extra miner jobs on our capital. Our capital will not be a mining world. And what you here do is you just select something like favorite society, and we're going to swap this off as soon as our synth situation is done in 11 months, right? So, yeah. All right. Make sure also you select the job type appropriately, otherwise it'll give you some really bad job priorities. And we can afford another colony ship now, so let's go ahead and Do a fourth colony ship. Doing 5 colony ships could definitely be really expensive, so um, that might be a bit too much. But yeah, getting 4 this early is definitely a really good thing. So species. Let's see, how's our society tech doing? 6 more months, nice. So that's going along really nicely. On this planet, we'll go generator district first. We'll also want to build assembly plants on all these planets too, right? It's just such an expensive thing to build right now that we're not going to do it until we ascend. Also, we have a neighbor right here. Okay, so we get a lot of planets, but we spawn next to a devouring swarm. So here's what to do when you find a devouring swarm, right? Is if you have any chance of survival, it is through packs. It is not worth building a military in single player to survive the devouring swarm. If you're all alone, you can look for something else. So okay, here we get another empire. Immediately, they're suspicious of us, but we need to change this. So let's go ahead and do that. Improve relations. Do we have any resources we can trade them? Yeah, offer, trade, deal, food. Um, Here, have some food. Um, just give them resources. And we need to form packs, defensive or not, or independence packs. And the reason for this is the AI will prefer to attack targets without packs, right? So if we have enough of them, they probably won't attack us, even if we have no military. And let me tell you, we will not have a military for a while. So guarantee independence. Let's go ahead and click that. And we need to spend our other envoy to discover our other neighbors and hope they can protect us. Ooh, physics, engineering, of course. Here we get nothing good, so we'll take planetary build speed. I know there's alloy megaforges right there, but once again, our economy's not going to be able to make much alloys for a little bit. So no point rushing that too hard. Okay, now that we have 2 mineral districts, we can do an assembly plant, right? And now that we're synthetically, our synth situation is ready, by the way, we can go ahead and click synthetics. So let's go ahead and do this. Focus on memory storage is usually best, but the basic resource one is actually not bad either. So just do keep that in mind. And let's enable this now. Enable our research, our assembly plant. Also, you can now go into your government. What was it? Agendas, and we can swap this over to synthetic yield, which increases our assembly a little bit. Also, for the situation here, just full speed. Yeah, that's generally the best. So, also as you can see, we've lost a lot of tech workers. We can go ahead and prioritize that for now, and just have no, metallurgists, especially during the synthesization situation. Your metallurgists get negative 100%, I think. Yeah, negative 100% monthly alloys. No point in producing alloys if you're going to get a negative 100% modifier, right? So don't worry that we're not using these robot jobs yet. We will definitely be using them soon. So no worries there. This devouring swarm is getting a lot closer to us. Oh no. And we need defensive packs, that ideally, but it's going to be a while before we can get a defensive pack with those guys. I should have been using all my envoys earlier to discover all our neighbors. If I can get 2, we'll probably be safe, to be honest. If not, we will die a sad death. Really sad, because this is a really awesome spawn. Like, a really, really awesome spawn. I would love to play this spawn. But hey, it's, this might happen to you. You might spawn next to a devouring swarm or a fanatic purifier. Devouring swarm is probably worse, but also, as you get uplifts, as you can see, it helps you finish the society or the society tree really fast, which is nice. Let's find out what's on this mining world. These are the Dima something Kazanians, so let's uplift those. Perfect. And then we'll of course uplift like all these in a row, and that'll help us out a lot. Yeah, as you can see, we're slowly getting our researcher jobs back, which is nice as well. One thing we can do here is our base economy is pretty good, so we can unprioritize these and just buy less um, minerals. It's going to look really bad here, -25, but don't worry too much about that. If we do run out of energy, it just won't do a purchase, and then we'll have positive energy, right? Here, we're going to select let them enjoy nirvana. Always let them enjoy nirvana. It lets you keep this amazingly overpowered building, producing, what is it, 100 tech, 38 trade value, and plus 19% robot output. Here, always click we shall mix our mines. We want the maximum chance of getting modularity, and I believe that helps. Also, here, we're still losing a little bit of alloys. Oh, that's because our situation just ended. Okay, now we're not losing alloys anymore. Perfect. Perfect. Yeah, here we just are waiting for more pops. Here we're also waiting for more pops. Perfect. Yeah, we're gonna get 3 pops from the uplift immediately, which is nice. Oh yeah, also don't forget, go into your agendas, optimize identity creation. That's another 15%. Perfect. And that's already pretty good pop assembly speed, right? If you go to our homeworld, take a look at that, 6.3 pop assembly. That's not bad. But this is before all the bonuses we're gonna stack on with our pop traits and the agendas, right? So we have synthetic yield here, and then later on we're gonna do progressive growth, which is gonna stack on top of synthetic yield, and our pop assembly can get up to as high as like 16. But if you're less lucky, you'll get like 13 or 14, something like that. So, and perfect, we get machine templates. Let's go ahead and take that right away. Also, as you can see, we have pretty good consumer goods now, so we can actually toggle this to Empire Capital. And yeah, we'll probably be losing a little bit of consumer goods like this, but it'll give us much better alloys. Here, just build an assembly plant, right? Here, also remember to unemploy your culture workers. You don't want to work those early game, as you don't need the amenities. They don't even give amenities, I think, at this point, but at some point they give you amenities. I forget. I think it's the Autocathon Monument, which does give you like 4 amenities per job, which is nice. So yeah, perfect. As you can see, we are starting to fly through our techs and our uplifts, right? And our pops are gonna recover quick. Oh no, we ran out of energy. Okay, a bit of a skill issue there. As you can see, I have a lot of resources to sell, and my mineral buy was actually not keeping the energy pop, was not the main reason for my energy going negative. So a little bit of a skill issue there. Don't worry too much about something like that. It's a small difference like this. It wears off fast, so you do lose a little bit, but not too big of a deal. Now, what is a big deal is we do need to discover these guys as soon as we can, hopefully, and hopefully make a defensive pact with them. Can we make a defensive pact with these guys yet? No. I think a good idea here is to go out of isolationist into cooperative. Should be a little bit easier to build trust, and it also should be less of a hit to our influence, which our influence still is important. We do want influence, right? And these energy credits are still terrible, but once these energy credit jobs start being worked, things should be okay. Yeah, how's our home planet doing? Yeah, we don't have too much growth on it yet. We did get lithoids as our pre-sapiens, which kind of sucks as they grow really slowly, but anyhow, just having the dual pop growth you can see is already powerful. 2.25 plus 5.6 is already pretty good, right? So awesome, awesome. Alright, how is this uplift going? Like, how long do I have to worry about these energy credits? I think we're going to need to sell a little bit more stuff. Just make sure we don't go red again, because going red twice would be really dumb. Perfect. And now that we get machine template systems, this is when it gets pretty fun. So first we want to go into our species, Neo Cat Girls, and we're going to create a template. This first template is a temporary one. We're basically only going to use this for, oh no, we're not going to make a template yet. We haven't even finished our synth situation, probably because I forgot to take this. And now we're going to start our synth situation. So I don't know how long I've had that available. It's definitely been there for a while. I just haven't been paying as much attention as I should. But yeah, once we get the modularity traits, that's when we want to do our first species modification. Before that, it's not always worth it, as it is quite expensive for a smallish bonus. Oh, beautiful commercial pack too. That's going to help us a lot. That is definitely going to help us a lot. A lot of options here. We can just take the block clears. Should I take this research agreement? I mean, it's basically going to be gifting it to them at some point, but why not? Oh, here we go, industrialist, right? So that's a nice bonus to our pops there. And yeah, at this point, we just want to make sure we keep building our world out. We don't really want a non-aggression pact. We want a defensive pact. Can we do that yet? Form defensive pact. Negative 22, so we're getting closer. We definitely don't want to select anything that says virtual on it, so avoid virtual unless it says banning virtual, then you want to click it. As the virtual synth ascension is not, or like the virtual synth fertility is not the same as like virtual where it gives you infinite pops. It's more or less, it gives you a big research bonus in cost of unity, and it's just not as good as modularity, which gives you a big bonus to literally everything, right? So yeah, definitely prefer modularity. And as you can see, we kind of have more than enough energy credits now, so we'll dedicate our homeworld to extra minerals where we can. And also, if you have the capability to, it's a good idea to start building more and more industrial districts. We don't quite have that yet, so let's not do that. We could use this as a second mineral world. It's kind of copium though. So instead, let's build just one Genesis arc, and let's take one of these systems with the really good mineral worlds. Also on this world here, we're just gonna go labs, and also just remember to uplift this. This can be another tech world. We'll build energy on it when we need more energy, but we won't need more energy for a good amount of time with these 5 things. Here, I think individual servers just added happiness. Seems pretty worth it. It's too risky. Yeah, don't want to piss off our new neighbors. We want them to defend us from the swarm. You know what I'm saying? Like, do not go near the swarm. Ship, you are not going to live. Oh, Blorix Bane has a dark matter deposit on it. Might want to take that soon. Though dark matter is it's worth a couple energy a month, right? It's not a huge deal. Just remember to sell off all our excess dark matter. Let's see if these guys have some communications, by the way. Nope, they don't. They've only discovered us. And we get exotic gas refiners, which is also very nice. That'll be good for when we redo our pops. That'll be really, really good. Again, here we're just going to keep building mining districts on this world. This world will basically double as a tech world, right? So start building city districts there, and when we have enough minerals, we'll start to build up this planet too. But our minerals aren't really good right now. Of course, we don't have mineral subsidies or anything like that yet, so. Getting 6.3 assembly on every planet now, which is really nice as well. And let's go ahead and pop this synthetic yield just before we hit 100 empire size. And go into progressive growth. And now our assembly is 8.75 without any modifiers on our pops. And you're starting to see why this build is really strong. Also, we can just burn our energy to keep our planets building at all times. That's kind of more important here. Oh, here we get an awesome one. We get exercise caution. It gives us plus 20% monthly assembly speed. We're now over 10. You guys can kind of see what's going on, right? Like, it's just awesome. Also, let's start moving this over here. I've completely forgot to do that for a while. I think we'll do a city district here to get a consumer goods building coming down as soon as we have the minerals for that. Right, once again, minerals, minerals, always an issue with synth fertility, it feels like. But hey, if there's any arc furnace players, you can always trade with them, which is nice because you definitely can make energy credits a lot easier, right? You get the energy subsidy tech, and you're not even close to getting the mineral subsidy tech for a long time since your engineering tech is so bottlenecked. We have another neighbor here too, which is nice. I'll not mimic you activity. I don't want mimic you activity. Can we make this defense pact yet? We already have the guarantee independence, right? But I want a defense pact. Defense. Ooh, -9. So we're not too far, I guess. Yeah, we definitely need to start building up our homeworld now. So let's go ahead and get the city district going. And here we go. Now we can get modularity. Just take the option that says allows advanced traits for species modification. Go ahead and click this. And since we're lucky enough to have already researched the tech for species modification, if you haven't, always just rush it. Oh, let's go back to pause so I have some time to show you guys how I like to modify my pops. Let's go to our main species first, Neocat girls, and we're gonna give these Neocat girls only traits that boost their productivity. So their productivity, let's go with dark matter engines. Let's go with exotic fuel consumption, since we just got the gas. Rare crystal trait. And I think the industrial trait, where is it? Oh, and shielded components. That's for habitability. That's almost always worth it. And since we have one trait point left, there's kind of two options here. One is industrial job output with a moat upkeep, and the other one is engineering core. These are both good options. You can also go volatile moat reactor if you have some really poor habitability planets. It's a tough one. I think we'll go engineering core here because we're definitely be focusing more on tech than anything else. So let's go ahead and do that. And now let's go ahead and apply this template to every single planet and research this. This is a pretty long research as we already have 32 pops. The faster you get this done, the cheaper this will be, as there'll be less pops to modify. And this will usually even take longer than 42 months, as we're basically adding pops to our total pop count as we're expanding. Right, and I've forgotten to spend my Unity for a long time, so that is pretty funny. Anyhow, let's go ahead and tell this guy to colonize this ruinous core here, I guess. Ruinous core, colonize that. Yeah, we're just looking for planets with good districts, good mineral districts. Just remember to keep all our planets building at all times if you can. Is there Mimikyu activity research I can do yet? No, I guess we'll just have to wait. But yeah, no defense pact is a bit worrying because they're only one system away now. Oh no, devouring swarm. Maybe they'll just come eat me, and there's nothing I can do about that. Look at the fleet power, by the way. Holy, 10k at year 20. Yeah, that's not. I'm not saying it's not possible normally, but it's not possible with any build that has any any chance of scaling, right? So I definitely wouldn't recommend military rushing as hard as that unless you have a specific plan for it, which could definitely be fun at least. So minus plus amenities, always good. I think we just seal off the colony. Small debuff to the colony, not a big deal. We're just going to colonize another world, which we can use primarily for tech at the beginning, and we'll just also colonize it with a biopop, so we can get biopop growth on it immediately when the colonization finishes. And here we go, civilian industries. Here we get to select a new leader. Just make sure one of the scientists win. Let's just go with our original leader, Mimi. It is worth spending the UND in case somebody terrible, especially your governor, gets elected. That can be a really big problem. We are oligarchic, right? So we get to pick who wins, which is nice. And, well, I did mention we're going to get like 15 pop assembly, up to that, 16. But we're only at 10. How are we going to do that, right? And the answer is, let's take a look at our species. We have this robot species here. What we can do with this robot species is create a template with only the assembly traits. And if we do that, we have to select a negative trait. Let's just pick something random. So we can actually assemble these pops and get their species rights to assimilation. Now we only get this unlocked at 23, which is, I think it's the date plus 10 years from when you synth ascend. Right, so we're going to have to wait a little bit before we can do that yet. Don't need this paragon either. But then we can get, basically, the assembly traits on our pops through these robots, which get immediately assimilated into our pops with only resource and efficiency traits, giving us the most OP pops, basically with like an extra like 7 or 8 trait points, you know what I mean? So that is definitely amazing and is what we're going to attempt to do, basically. Here I kind of want this Capitol building now. I do need to build one what's it called, exotic gas plant before this finishes, right? So otherwise we're gonna have a problem with our rare resources. Oh, we already have exotic gas pops, so yeah, we're about to get the situation. Oof. In fairness, it won't hurt us too much as. Oh no. I did something silly here. I should have let this finish and then started the situation. Okay, that's really silly of me. Oh, that's gonna slow down our text so much. Well, it is realistic to make mistakes, so let's keep this in. You know, let's keep this in, and kind of show how you can recover this when this happens. It's not the end of the world, right? It's definitely not good. Well, it's not the end of the world, so. Yeah, let's also make sure not to work any cultural workers yet. Yeah, I think with the consumer good debuff is actually bigger than the gas shortage debuff so far. One thing you can do, right, is if I think at stage 3 or 4, you get the option to just like raise a planet to get, not raise a planet, but like cause some devastation on a planet. It gives you some gases. That is totally fine. That is worth doing. Otherwise, you go into bankruptcy, and that is not what you want. But with just this thing, right, it's not too bad. Like, what is it? Reasons from jobs minus 15%. Yeah, not the end of the world. Definitely really annoying. So yeah, let's hopefully not make any stupid mistakes like that again. And if we do that, we actually won't need the gas plant right away, which is funny, but yeah, here we can basically start to take almost anything. In society, it's not that important anymore. Just kind of get through the tree. We do want colonial centralization and the +1 civic slot, but it's usually quite a ways down the way, at least for the +1 civic slot. And now that we are bordering this guy, how have we not made contact with either of our neighbors yet? Pretty annoying. Yeah, here, reclaim gas from Wald Trip Prime. Yeah, a bit annoying. It happened to be our mineral world, but it's some light devastation relative to the downsides of maintaining that forever, right? So turn this back to an empire capital. Hopefully, it gives us a better balance between consumer goods and alloys. Yeah. Anyways, as you can see, a lot of mistakes can be made. Don't worry too much about it. Also remember to keep building labs everywhere. If we ever have our things stationary, we can just buy some minerals, not a big deal. Not a big deal indeed. 450 tech, year 21. Not terrible. Perfect. We get another species to uplift. Let's go ahead and do that. This is once again going to be another mineral world, so let's get that building. Right, and also remember you're going to be getting ascension perks. I'm forgetting. We should take one vision here. Yeah, I have a habit of like ignoring my notifications. It's probably really annoying to look at for people who see them. But yeah, I'm sorry about that. But I'm a little bit unattentive like that. We also need this crystal trait as soon as possible because we are using crystals, right? And the speed we're going to use crystals is going to go up a lot very soon. Here, distract them, I guess. That gives us some alloys, which is nice. Let's see. I think this is actually a really good energy planet, so let's go ahead and colonize that. Let's just remember to, if at all possible, keep all our planets building at all times. I've been neglecting my homeworld for that kind of resources for a while. I need to turn one of these worlds into a consumer goods world. Let's pick not a tomb world as we want slightly better habitability. Let's probably turn Cirrus into a dedicated consumer goods world. This will basically be an alloy world. We do already have a civilian industries on it, but that's okay. We'll just replace that way later. Let's see. We do need another lab here. Can we get another hive mind? Hello, hive mind. Improve relations. Improve relations. Offer trade deal. Let's give them some resources here. What would a hive mind want? Food? Do you want food? You do want food. Okay. Establish embassy. Interesting. Okay, and our special project is complete. Guarantee independence. Boom. Also, let's remember to complete our tradition trees. Let's see, is uplift done? Just make sure you don't work as culture workers, because screw culture workers. I have the jobs don't update right away, and you have to like update them. That's a bit annoying. Oh, we finally get minerals. So we're getting minerals soon, guys. We're getting minerals soon. On this planet here, right, we're gonna need the mineral building. So let's not build that yet. Here we actually need more pops of all things. So let's not more pops, more jobs. But we also need more pops on that planet, of course. Here we need a robot assembly plant. Where's robot assembly plant? There we go. And yeah, it is also just important. Every time you see you can afford a colony ship, another colony ship should be coming out. If you don't have at least 5 colonies by this time, you should probably focus your early game a little bit more on producing what's it called? Industrial output. Right. So if take a look at our stats, 611 tech, barely positive industrial output, but this is going to go up really quickly as we're going to start to industrialize as our mineral situation improves. Archivist or materials leader? That's a tough one. But we'll probably go archivist as we want. If we want any leader, we want an industrial leader. As arc furnace is an industrial tech, and well, early arc furnaces are completely game changing. And we basically have to take crystal trait here as our crystals are running down, so we don't want to run out of those. Let's go ahead and build a exotic thing there. Also, as you can see, a lot of our buffs are already ran out, and we're at still at 9 pop assembly. But once we pass this, this will boost that up back up again a lot, which is super, super nice. And we haven't started doing the robot tech yet, which we can because it's now past year 23, right? So first thing we're going to do actually is go to your species and just make sure there are no stragglers. Sometimes the way the uplift is, there's one pop left over. If there is, go ahead and change one of your base species pops. Like if they don't have all these positive traits, go ahead and edit them so they do. That should only take a few months at most. Once that is done, make sure that happens, otherwise these pops will assimilate into the wrong traits. We're going to set our robot species to assimilation, and we're going to start assembling these robot pops. And look at that, plus 12 assembly on every planet with biopop growth at the same time. Crazy. Robot. Perfect. And did I set their species rights already? Assimilation. Perfect. So now we're assembling at 12 point something per month pops with only resource traits. Absolutely incredible. Here we get a new planet. As I mentioned before, this planet is going to be a designated consumer goods world or something like that. So also remember to just start replacing these with like industrial districts when we can. Yeah, as you can see, we're making 190 minerals now. That is the advantage of having so many what's called minor jobs. Let's go ahead and ooh, this would have been a better consumer goods world. Honestly, let's do that. Let's do that. We're not so desperately in need of consumer goods world right now that this has to be consumer goods world. Yeah, this one's just size 24, so we can actually make that into an alloy world and our home into a consumer goods world, as we want a really large world for an alloy world. So size 24 desert, it's perfect. Also, if you guys didn't notice, we have with this shielded components trait giving plus 30% habitability. It's absolutely amazing. It means we have basically 100% on most planets. Oh, beautiful. Year 24 arc furnace. It's not early, I'll give you that, but it's definitely not late. So I'm super happy about that. Can I make a defensive pact with anyone yet? Why am I so hated? Defensive pact, negative 41. Defensive pact with you guys. -2. Close. We're getting close. Yeah, okay. Also, let's see, I think one of the best worlds to build rare resources on at the beginning is your mining world. So as soon as we can, we'll build not the mineral, what I call it, the crystal. We're down to 19 crystals, right? So we need to be careful. I think we go favorite society here as well. Just a nice general all-around boost. And yeah, we need to start building up our basic economy or our industrial economy for those arc furnaces, because that's going to be amazing. Oh, oh, pops! Why do you do this? 2 unemployed pops. Oh, yeah, I killed a lot of my mineral output just to get nothing from that. That's so annoying. Uh, yeah, we're basically saving up these alloys for our arc furnaces now, so no need to use those right away. Heritage site. This is perfect. This is the Autocathon monument. I guess I forgot it has a different name for bio. Yeah, and as you can see with that agenda pass, we now have 13 assembly on every planet. Simply awesome. Let's also make sure we don't forget to select the right thing to assemble on every planet. Energy Nexus is perfect here. Let's go ahead and work that. We need to get that crystal job soon, so let's remember to do that as soon as we can. There's our arc furnace. Oh, we get +3 traits. That's always a good thing to have. And where is our construction ship? Go to our capital and start building an arc furnace. If I had remembered, I should have sent it to our capital first. Also, since there's nobody here yet, we don't have to worry about taking all these worlds immediately. We just have to take them eventually when it's convenient to do so, right? Also here, this can be a tech-focused world. Let's just make sure we remember to uplift on every planet. Helps our unity along as well. Oh no, why are they getting farther? Give them a migration treaty. Maybe that'll make them happy. Well, migration treaty with me will give you access to like literally every habitability type almost. Actually, not really, because we basically only have dry worlds and doom worlds, which is quite funny actually. So we have a lot of contact with this devouring swarm here. Hey, I would love a defensive pact. Let's see if we can give them a trade of something. But dark matter, they must love dark matter. We don't have that much. Oh. Form, defend, negative. I should have traded them just a little bit more. That's funny. Okay, I said one of the main negative things is distance. So if we close the distance a little bit, that'll make them a little happier, right? Also remember to use those as soon as we can. Crystals. Yeah, as you can see, it is truly a relentless push to keep up with these buildings, even with almost 200 minerals per month, right? It is not easy at all. So let's take a look if we have any good other arc systems. Also here, there's nothing in particular we need, so I'd recommend saving this until you have Arcology project, as we definitely want an Arcology project at some point, so it's kind of worth waiting for that. 14, 8, and 6. So we don't have any great arc systems, but there's a 13 and a 14, which we'll build eventually after we finish our homeworld's 20. Right, and this is why we need to take Soul, right, is having one system like that being so great is just amazing for arc furnaces. Definitely worth having, right? So let's go ahead and start this capital building upgrade. Energy building upgrade is nice as well. Can we afford it yet? Yeah, we can. So as soon as we can afford this, we can afford it. Rare resources rise. We just need more minerals. Like, doesn't it feel like when you're playing this build, you're playing on fastest? That's kind of what it feels like to me. As holy, we are flying through these techs. And it is really hard to keep up with all the buildings and stuff. Just remember to burn all our energy into extra minerals, just so we can do these mineral buildings whenever we can. And we do hit the rare crystal shortage just before the plant finishes. 14 days, annoying. Was it 5% resources from jobs? It's not a big deal, so nothing too badly lost there. Also, we forgot to turn on planet automation for all these planets. Go ahead and do that now. It's just managing crime, right? But it will help at some point, probably. Oh, and we're getting insults. That's not good. Oh, defensive pact. Wait, do these guys even have a what's it called? A guaranteed independence with us now? Okay, we do have it. Hey, that's better than nothing, right? Oh my god, and they hate us more and more. honestly pretty funny. Like, we should definitely. I don't know if we'll live this. I really don't. Ooh, mineral subsidies. We definitely need that. Yeah, this also should be a tech world. Um, it's not producing any basic resources. So here we're gonna take adaptability probably. Um, would it be smart to take anything defensive at all? Probably. Are we going to do so? No, because we're just gonna pretend these guys won't attack us. You know, that's the new plan. Crazy plan, and I hope it works. Right, I am producing some alloys now, but are we gonna create like a 10k fleet that's really gonna challenge them? No. Um, right, so we're not gonna worry about doing that. Boom, species. More species to uplift, and not enough minerals to build the planets with. Although we do get mineral subsidies now, and now we get tier 2 mineral subsidies, so let's turn that on. We are burning into our unity a little bit. That's okay. We don't have a terrific need for high unity at this point in time, so don't worry too much about that. This should be a tech world. As you can see, uh, it's not even that late into the game, year 27, and it's become like an absolute hustle to keep up with these planets. So crazy many of them, you know? I don't know why I'm choosing this order to build the star bases in. It's fine, you know? Also, I've been forgetting to upgrade our arc furnace, so let's go ahead and do that as soon as we can. Need $10 for that. Unless I just purchase them before I'm sitting here, something happens, some pop-up happens, and I forget. And here we also want... Okay, this is actually... I said this is going to be a consumer goods world, and this is going to be our alloy world. Wow. Yeah, I think we'll go with that. I think we'll go with that, yeah. It will take a while before we can build this world up into being a proper alloy world, though, which is a bit of an issue. So it's probably worth it if you're playing multiplayer to build the tier 2 alloy plant on this world immediately. Since I'm not trying to min-max that hard, and just trying to have kind of a fun single player playthrough. Let's not bother to do that. Species. Do we have any more species up? Look at that. We have 129 pops. Like a decade ago, we probably had like 45 or something stupid like that. Uh, that really is the power of synth fertility. Like, absolutely insane population booms, the likes of which India can't even match. Fair, I think in real life, India's population growth is slowing down a lot. Like, they did overtake China and all that, but I think they're probably sitting around like 2.0 like births per woman now, which is not even maintenance, I think, in the long run. But that's probably a good thing when there's as much overcrowding as there is in that uh, area of the world. But yeah, it's just pretty interesting, I guess, that even the places we think of as like crazy overpopulated in the world now are starting to potentially enter population decline, which is very interesting. Like, that's kind of a side tangent to the game, but in my opinion, that's a bigger threat to the world than overpopulation is, to be completely honest. So I don't even know where we have gas, but if we do, let's go ahead and take that, as having more is never a bad thing. I never built the moat factory, by the way, because I guess we didn't really have the place to do it, so definitely build that soon. And just take a look at like how insane the the basic economy is. 300 minerals, 100 um, energy credits. Don't look at the consumer goods. Okay, that's pretty mediocre, but um, yeah, what 800 tech? You're 29. Awesome. Oh, and we do get manufacturer as well, which is an awesome trait that gives us extra amenities, keeping our planets nice and happy. As you can see, Synthetic fertility really doesn't struggle with unhappy pops most of the time, which is nice. Yeah, and this is why we definitely need a second alloy slash consumer good world. You can see how quickly our consumer goods and stuff can't keep up. One thing is we don't have the tier 2 consumer good plant yet, which is a really important tech for this build, as otherwise you just need so many consumer good jobs to keep up with the crazy amount of labs we're building everywhere, right? So definitely nice to have that. We're making almost one research lab a month now in minerals, which is funny. Let's see if we have any more uplifts. We probably do. Yeah. Boom. Yeah, what a ridiculous build. What a truly ridiculous build this is. Assuming we don't immediately die to the purifier, right? That's another issue. And why are these people like so unhappy with us that they're only cordial? Distance 91? Defensive pact negative 93. Aw, oh, man. It's definitely scary out there. Oh no, they don't even want our they don't want our migration treaty anymore. Um, let's improve relations. Let's do that. We only have 2 envoys, but we'll make it work. Okay, now you can see we have 416 minerals per month. I think for the first time, I can definitely say minerals are not the issue anymore. We need more industry now. So let's go ahead and build that as fast as we can. I think this will give us an extra couple building slots, right? Yeah, build that. Extra energy credits, sure. This is actually so ridiculous. I've played Synth Fertility many times, yet, like, not many times to be honest. I've had this many planets this early, and holy, it is just so ridiculous. It is so ridiculous, and we finally get the consumer good building, so that is amazing as well. So we're at year 30 now. Oh, we get another scientist, which is great, because now we can make you a scientist and make you a minister of state, meaning we have an extra scientist on our council. And if we take a look at that, look at our tech speed, plus 88% for engineering. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. Now, 1,000 tech year 30, there was a point in time where that wasn't so ridiculous. It is definitely so ridiculous now. With the nerfs to tech and stuff, that was probably almost a year ago now, but it feels pretty recent, to be honest. And yeah, it still feels ridiculous. Hitting probably higher tech values than was easily possible in even those days when tech wasn't nerfed, simply because of how overpowered some of the new builds that are coming out are. And this, I said, would be an alloy world, so we'll build the alloy foundry here. We'll build the civilian industry here. And we can finally start to research military techs. Of course, if you're playing multiplayer, first of all, don't play this build. Play this build with catalytic and anglers. That way you can actually defend yourself at year 30 by making over 200 alloys. You just don't build so much tech. You have like 450, 500, 600 tech, something like that. And instead of 50 alloys, you have plus 200 alloys, and you can build a fleet to protect yourself. What? Did we not uplift something? I don't know what the special project was. I wasn't paying attention. Oh well. Anyhow, yeah, as I mentioned, yeah, every single planet, you don't know what to do with it, basically just build tech on it. And then once you have too much tech, like you have mega engineering stuff, that's when you convert a lot of the tech worlds back into naval capacity and that kind of thing. Also, whenever you have spare building slots, just build whatever rare resource you need more of. So it's usually gases in the early game. So let's go ahead and build some gases on these worlds here. Also, when your planets have only one building or two building slots left, actually stop building labs. I just remind myself of this and build autocathon monuments, as we're going to want to start rushing our Unity as well, so our tech doesn't pull too far ahead of our Unity. Also, as you saw from before, we are burning Unity like crazy to run all these edicts at once, right? So it is nice to have some extra edicts. Adaptability is also nice just because it gives you your planet specialization a bonus. Also, it gives you a guaranteed research to eventually convert all your worlds into Gaia worlds, which is great for the biopops on there. To get an asteroid. Where's this asteroid? I don't see it. Oh, there it is. This planet is relatively far from the starbase, so that's not going to be good. Melted Corvette. What? Melted Shoal. So, fleet management. Melted Shoal. Let's add a couple. That'll keep the planet safe. It should be enough, I think. And we will have to wait another month to get our arc furnace going. 2 months, actually. Oh, we ran out of food of all things. Well, let's spend some. I mean, that's an easy solution. Just maximize your food buy. Um, yeah, they want the commercial pack back. That's a good sign. Like us, protect us. We need it. But as you can see, even the what packs do we have with them? You know what I mean? Like they're keeping us safe enough for now. Um, Guarantee independence. It's nice because the AIs actually behave in a way that protects you, right? Like if you get attacked, they'll actually come defend you. If you have uh, guarantee independence packs with players, they won't come defend you. So they're pretty worthless. Unless, of course, it's like a pre-arranged team or something. You know the player, that kind of thing. Then you know they might come and defend you, but that doesn't always happen. Yeah, as you can see, we're definitely dumping a lot of our alloys into this arc furnace now. So that will definitely help our industrial output a lot. Let's also get some more motes. I think we should just buy some, like buy enough to immediately click these upgrades. Build some random autocathon monuments across the place to start getting that going. Autocathon monument there. Did we build the civilian industry? It probably did, yeah, because our consumer goods are actually positive, which is nice. And as you can see, we're prioritizing not building the tier 2 research jobs and just building new researcher jobs. That's better unless you can't keep up, in which case you should swap to new research jobs. And as you can see, now that our edicts ran out, our pop assembly is kind of normal 9. Right, that's not bad, but like, once we get like tier 2 robot assembly plants and stuff, that'll of course skyrocket again. So yeah, let's just remember to keep every planet upgrading. Definitely a bit of a microing situation here. 2,000 minerals for that too, which is nice. And now we can also just continue to colonize all these tomb worlds. Like, there's so many of them, so might as well get all these uplifts going. It's gonna be crazy. Yeah, just absolutely amazing. We have stable resources. Our industrial output is not amazing, as you can see, but we're literally changing that at the speed at which we can build at. If we had remembered to colonize this planet earlier so that we could focus on this planet a little bit more, that would have been great, but of course I forgot. So um, also, of course, if you are playing in multiplayer, I would definitely not greed this hard, and at least a couple of these tech planets should just be building full-out industrial, building alloys to try to protect yourself, right? But hey, greeting this hard when you are playing single player is always worth, because um, nothing bad really happens. As you can see, I'm next to this purifier, right? And I'm still just chilling. Like, right? It's better to try to solve that issue through other methods, like what I'm doing here with um, these not non-aggression pacts, but these guarantees. So much easier to do that than it is to actually build a military, which is one of the reasons why single player is just a I wouldn't say easy, but a more relaxed experience than multiplayer. Multiplayer, you might just die. You know, at any point in time, oh, somebody comes and kills you and you're dead. Like, it's also one of the reasons why I've been enjoying single player a lot more recently, as I'm less competitive than I used to be at multiplayer. It's just nice to be left alone and be allowed to scale and have a fun time that way, instead of being constantly worried for imminent death coming for you at any possible moment. Like, yeah, so this will turn to a factory world, and where is our other planet? Will turn into a alloy world. Right, as you can see, we need more metallurgists, so let's just move some. It's probably any planet where there's clerks, you know, let's just move some over. Yeah, we can see we're making plus 200 consumer goods. That's a little bit much, but that is completely fine. We'll be making more alloys very soon, as soon as we get some of these buildings upgraded. So what we're gonna do actually is gonna upgrade the ascension tier. That will let us build even just a little bit faster. Where's that second arc furnace system? See the 14. Okay, there. So we won't miss out on that. That's good. Improve deflectors. We don't even have that. It's quite funny. Uh, yeah, as you can see, our minerals are definitely doing really good now. So we might need to actually build up our energy just a little bit more. 32 energy per pop. Definitely pretty good for no orbital ring. And once we get an orbital ring, I believe it'll go into the 40s, right? Which just kind of shows how ridiculous this build can get. Also, let's remember to take all our tomb worlds, because I've been forgetting. I've never seen so many planets in such a small area before. It's truly ridiculous. Like, they're almost all in our capital sector as well, which is amazing, as the capital sector is usually always the most efficient one due to having the highest level leader and that kind of thing. So, yeah, really awesome there. Yeah, this arc furnace is going to be looking good. Actually, you know, let's alternate this between Empire Capital and other thing, because we just want more alloys still. Also, we can turn on baryonic insight. This gives us a little bit of bonus physics. I think we just have so much dark matter now. We can also run shadow matrix, I guess. Also, what I should have been doing is I should have been exploring the galaxy. I haven't, so let's see if we can get communications through trade deals. Yeah, this player has some communications, that's why it's -5. You just need to give them some resources. And wow, 2,000 minerals only gives you that much? Maybe dark matter. Yeah, 100 dark matter. There we go. I mean, they'll definitely say yes. Okay, we definitely get some communications like that. And yeah, trading communications is definitely the most efficient way to explore the galaxy if you're lazy. Let's see if these guys have discovered anyone else yet. Offer trade deal. Communications. Yep, they have. So let's. I think I already gave them some dark matter, but let's give them some more. Perfect. Definitely want more guarantees, but I don't really know who to ask for a guarantee from. Like maybe this neighbor, because they're kind of close, right? Oh, never mind. They're xenophobic. um, it doesn't mean you can't get a guarantee from them, but with only 2 envoys, it's a bit difficult. Yeah, envoys is definitely not something you think about a lot in multiplayer games where you just don't need any envoys. Well, you don't need many envoys. Having a couple is nice to build trust and that kind of thing. Ba, 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 ba. Oh, they just sent me a defense pact and I wasn't responding. Oh man, defensive pact. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, one defensive pact and one independence guarantee. Hey, you know, there should be easier targets for this purifier, like their neighbors or something. Especially since they can't actually devour me. I'm bio, you know. Well, they can eat me for food, but that's it. They don't get much out of that. I guess. Actually, I guess no devouring storm gets that much out of something. It's not the same as like driven assimilator where they just take your pops, which is like a way crazier um, bonus for multiplayer at least. Oh, did they? They just yoinked my systems here. That's fine. Not a big deal. Also here, we're about to be able to do our last arc furnace tier. So as soon as that's done, um, we can start building our next arc furnace. So let's get them ready into this trophy star system with the 14 deposit, which is nice. Yeah, just look at the tech, man. We're almost at 1500, and it's not even year 40. Um, and we'll probably overtake 1500 or 2000 by year 40 if we're lucky. Uh, species. Probably should upgrade that as well. Yeah, we're definitely running low on energy credits, so a world like this will probably be a good second energy world. More metallurgist output, perfect. We definitely don't need so many miners anymore, so let's go ahead and move some over to our alloy planet. You know, our alloys are definitely coming along nicely. And you can build an arc furnace. And yeah, we still have so many planets to colonize as well. Crazy. Yeah, so in case you're like wondering why is this build considered so broken in like when it was like year 25 and um you know, it wasn't looking particularly strong for a year 30 build. Hopefully, it should be obvious now. We're passing 200 pops at year 36, and it's not like 200 shitty pops. It's 200 of, well, 141 of some of the most broken pops you can get. And I can even modify this template and like make it even better, but it'll take so long to apply that uh, it's not really worth it. Like I can get rid of high bandwidth or something, and take another positive trait. I don't know, Mo Power Tools or something, right? I'm not going to actually use that template. It'll take forever to apply. It's not worth it. It's not worth it until ultra late game where you have not much to do besides like just ultra mini maxing basically. Um, but yeah, I mean, look at this. It's just crazy. We don't have orbital rings or something like that yet, but we're not too far off, I would imagine. I don't really want a migration treaty. It's just gonna burn through resources we don't have in influence. Um, yeah, influence, as you can see, is a bit of a problem now because we're burning through so many from packs, even though we're not isolationists. But it's also because we don't have a military. So as soon as we're like done these arc furnaces and colonization, there's nothing else for our alloys to go to. And also, do pay attention. Our colonizations and stuff are so expensive that despite being as economically strong as we are, we're not building up any alloys. We're just using all of them um, to build just like an insane amount of stuff, right? Like an insane amount of colony ships and that kind of thing. So Yeah, do keep that in mind that you can't play this greedily if there's a threat to you in multiplayer or something. Um, but once again, I'd recommend catalytic anglers for multiplayer. If you want me to practice that build and show it as well, I will. I definitely do need to practice it, as I have not played the catalytic anglers variant of this build before, as I've always just played this ultra greedy one. Um, I will say that with this ultra greedy style for synth fertility, it is not unviable to become a vassal and then outscale and kill your vassal later on, as even some of the stronger builds in the entire game, like say Progenitor Hive, can't actually outscale a synthetic fertility player if the synthetic fertility player is their only vassal. Like, you will still outscale. It is just that powerful. Did we just get an Amber Alert or something? I think we might have just got an Amber Alert. I missed it. Oh well. So yeah, do keep that in mind. If you're playing a multiplayer game, it is not game over if you get vassalized, right? Even giving up 30% of your economy, like of your basic economy, that is, right? It's completely survivable. Yes, we need to produce a little bit more energy, right? But that's not difficult to do in any way. And nothing is stopping our advanced economy from just completely outscaling anyone. Um, just imagine I'm not making 1.5k tech and making like 800 or something more appropriate for this time, and have an extra alloy world or something like that, right? It would be absolutely, absolutely insane. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold off on reforming my government right away. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait till I can get most of these uplifts. Right, is this the 13 arc furnaces? I'm just going to assume I got it right, yeah. And yeah, we definitely need more energy credits now. This is a great energy world. Let's turn this into an energy world. Energy, robot assembly, energy. Yeah, sorry if I'm like not doing great commentary right now. I'm just trying to play. I should probably pause it and do explain some things, right? So, why am I not taking the Civic right away? Well, what I want to do is I want to finish all my uplifts first, and then reform out of. And then I want to reform out of what's it called? Genesis entirely, right? Because Genesis is not that useful late game. It's only useful early game, where the unity really matters, right? But as soon as we outscale that, don't really need it anymore. So let's go ahead and make sure we do that. Also, we can turn this into a factory capital, and I believe we can go to militarized economy now. Militarized economy, and I think we'll be making slightly more consumer goods and slightly less alloys. But oh yeah, see it's better. This is definitely better. City district housing, perfect. I think it just takes advantage of the fact that we're actually producing the resources on the planet. We have the building that increases the efficiency on it. And yeah, as you can see, we now have 2 picks. So one thing you can do here is, if you're playing relatively early game, Galactic Force Projection is one of the best picks, period. But if you're trying to ultra scale into late game, you might want to have an extra Ascension perk for something else. So that's what we're going to do, because I'm greedy and I don't like early game fights anyway. Fairness, I don't like fights at any stage of the game. I just like scaling. It's just fun. Like, I don't know why. I really don't know why I like playing SimCity and Stellaris, but hey. To each their own. You know, definitely do what you find fun. Don't force yourself to play some playstyle you don't want to, right? Like, anyhow, yeah, let's remember to keep these worlds upgrading. War declaration. Alright. Hopefully it doesn't affect us too badly. 277 alloys now, right? This is not amazing. It's not bad, but it's definitely going to be a while before these Genesis arcs finish. But I definitely still want to take advantage of that little boost in unity each one gives. Each one gives like 10 months of unity still, right? So it's like worth. It's worth it because what am I gonna get from reforming my government now? I'm gonna get like meritocracy, and a 10% boost to specialist output. Nice, but not deal breaking, right? And we're gonna get um, relentless industrialists, which will boost our industrial economy a fair bit actually, but not by such a substantial margin that I need to hard rush it. I do hate how slow the buildings build relative to everything else. What are we at? Oh, we're not quite at 2K tech. We're at 1.5 at year 40. I guess we have focused a lot more on industrial output over tech output since then, but not a big deal. Also, for this research institute, just put it on any planet. Its research speed modifier is empire wide, um, so it is definitely not important to. It is not important to put that on the planet with the most tech. In fact, you don't really want to put it on the planet with most tech because it doesn't provide as many tech jobs as a regular research lab does. What am I going to do with this planet? No plan for it, so just labs. A lot of these labs, once we get Ring World, will be deleted. Those lab jobs will go to the Ring World, and we'll turn these into like fortresses or something. That's generally one of the better things to do with all your extra planets in the late game. It's just fortresses. You need so many fortresses. If you take Cosmogenesis, you can go with Apis Bastions. They're quite a bit more efficient. So yeah, definitely recommend those as well. This is the first planet I've had with some amenities difficulties, so we'll just build an amenity building here in the identity complex. We don't have another one in our galaxy or an empire anywhere yet, so. And we finally do get anti-gravity engineering too, which means we can start our ecology project just past year 41 here. I would say that's pretty good. It's faster than I would say I normally get it. So that's definitely nice. We stop spending our minerals so crazily for a second, although I do need to just make sure we have something to build here, because once again, I do not want to leave any buildings unbuilding. As you can see, right, like just a crazy amount of stuff to micro. By the way, if you play on fast, right, you should probably look into more micro you can be doing. Of course, if you just like playing on fast and you don't like microing, you keep at it. Have fun. That's the most important. But there's definitely a lot of things you're missing out on that you can definitely optimize more to be really ridiculously overpowered much earlier into the game. Also, it's year 40. We can start militarizing now, right? So if we're doing a ship designer, we can go cruisers. Cruisers are generally the best ships. Never need to wait for battleships. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna run something like this with reactive armor and afterburners, and this will be one of the best ships possible for multiplayer. It's not as good for single player, as you'll beat almost any ship design that AI comes up with anyway, and these are not very good against star bases and cause a lot of disengagements. But these are a ridiculous ship in. Also use Picket computers. Where's Picket? In multiplayer, this will absolutely own things. The hardening will let you beat other disruptor builds. A little bit of speed never hurts, so you don't get kited. You can add more speed if you don't expect to run into disruptors. The hardening is just super, super valuable against other disruptors. So this beats disruptors. It beats, well, obviously the fleet size matters more if it's disruptor versus disruptor, but it definitely beats everything else in the game that's not disruptors. So yeah, unless you get kited, of course, but in which case you probably just need more speed technology, like, right. Or you can just go triple afterburner if you expect to go against a kiting ship or something like that. But generally, it shouldn't happen, even with just like these pretty bad chemical thrusters and that kind of thing. I mean, who's gonna have better tech than you at this point? Also, I completely forgot to build resource silos. Pretty awkward. So it's gonna delay our. It's going to delay our what's it called, a Cumulinopolis, just a little bit, as it's going to take us a little bit longer to hit 20k minerals. Also having to wait for this, but it's like a couple years, right? It's not a huge deal. Also, do we have any more uplifts? Not quite. I'm not gonna wait for this last, like, once this finishes colonizing, right? I'm just gonna call it. I'm gonna upgrade those last couple ones. probably not be ignored, right? So, what the hell? My protector got subjugated. Okay, it is definitely time for us to militarize. Um, so let's go ahead and build more shipyards and probably this fleet academy. Let's not redo that science pact, right? As we're definitely the provider of more science at this point. Um, oh, when is this thing gonna finish? Resource silos, it's burning minerals. Uh, Also, this planet here, we need fucking freaking moats, right? We need some more moats. So let's. Am I not producing moats anywhere? I'm sure I'm producing moats at least somewhere. Let's take a look. Maybe I'm not producing moats anywhere. No, I must be. Yeah, here. Oh, the worker is unemployed. And I was like, why am I losing moats and why can't I buy it? Like, also now we're losing gases. So let's buy some gases. Here, there we go. Archaeo studies, industrial subsidy, perfect. And let's get this building immediately, as that'll boost our military output quite a bit. And yeah, I definitely should have built star bases earlier. That's a bit of a mistake on my part, but that just means our militarization will be slower. Not a terrifically big problem. Yeah, and as you can see, our Unity is not terrible. We haven't focused too much on autochthon monuments across our empire yet, so we shouldn't expect to have too much, but it's definitely not bad. Perfect. Tier 3 armor is nice, I guess. Right, especially the armor with the hardening is really nice, so. Yeah, luckily this Devouring Swarm Hive doesn't look very strong either. I don't know why. Like, first, I'm sure they're overwhelming to me, right? But I'm sure everyone is overwhelming to me in this galaxy currently. Like, literally everyone. Even the AIs who just had their fleets destroyed, they really prioritize fleets, so they're gonna immediately build up a little bit more. Whereas I am lazy and greedy and not building any fleets at all, so. Just go ahead and uplift our last species. We're going to uplift, and as soon as that's done in like a month or two, we can start focusing on other stuff. I will say, not having hit the tier 2 robot building yet is a little bit annoying. Not a huge deal, but I do hope we hit it soon. Also, I completely forgot to stop spending my alloys. We do have our ecology project now, so we can go ahead and click that as soon as I remember to. Okay, in 3 months, if I remember to, more accurately speaking. But yeah, our year 50 numbers do look like they'll probably be a little bit disappointing. That is a bit of a skill issue on my part, but hey. It is how it is. You know, we're still definitely doing good with 1.8 or 1.9k tech. This is, yeah. At year 43, that's not bad. Well, it's not bad. That's impossible with any other build except virtual, basically, right? So there we go. There's our first archaeology project going up. The second planet here will be looking good soon as well. And let's remember to build ministries of production on both of them, as that will be good for our economy in general. Yeah, just remember to build all the arc furnaces. Yeah, a lot of remembering, I guess. Here, this planet can be another tech planet. Just another one. Tech world. Oh, there's 2 uplifts that are so close to being done. Should I wait for them? Ooh, assembler. Perfect. That's another one of the traits that we really want. We didn't get like the Oracle. Sometimes you get the Oracle, and that's very likely to give you assembly speed as a option. But yeah, we're back up to like 11.5, and that's without um, any of the agendas active, which is really awesome. Oh, what happened to that mining world? That did not look very happy. Okay, if you do have that, I guess you can start to work some culture workers. Um, yeah, +4 amenities, right? That'll help. Here it looks like we need to work some culture workers as well. I don't need to work 8 of them, but we can for now. It's gonna hurt our tech quite a bit though. Actually, screw it. Let's not. Let's micro this. There we go. Okay, what else we got? Plasma accelerators. Nothing important there. Leader lifespan, sure. And as you can see, our what's it called? Ability to create jobs is outpacing our job creation, our pop growth, which is nice. That doesn't always happen. Uh oh, we are about to get absorbed. Our guarantors did not survive. Okay. So yeah, we definitely should have built more um, military. So let's see if we can rush it out fast enough to survive. Um, yeah, not having shipyards built is definitely a bit of a struggle. Let's go ahead and build those. Let's see where their fleets come from. I don't have great sensors. Uh, but yeah, we should be able to beat them even with a really large fleet disadvantage. What is that? Right, yeah, we should definitely still should be able to beat them even with a relatively large fleet disadvantage. 10k versus 5k disruptors. Should we test this out? Let's test this out, guys. Let's take Cosmogenesis. I want a Cosmogenesis. I reckon my 5k disruptors wins this. Uh, so let's go ahead and turn on some. Let's see how much. Oh, I have so little. I can only afford a couple months of edicts. So let's turn on focusing crystals for these couple months. This should win pretty easily, right? Like 6k disruptors now. Ooh, it's not as good as I thought. It's definitely not as good as I thought. What do they have? I don't know. I don't know what they have. I definitely did think that would go a lot better. I can't lie. What do they have? Do they have disruptors too? I should have checked what was taking damage. Let's see if I can find it. Damage output. Uh, combat loss. Yeah, we're doing damage to hull. What are they doing? Kind of to a little bit of everything. So I have no idea why I lost that so badly. I guess skill issue is the thing to say. I guess 5k versus 10k is a little aggressive. But let's see if we can rebuild before we're dead. Okay, let's see what planet they're over. Alpha Centauri Prime. Armies, recruit. Deploy in orbit. No. Same with here. Also, we're out of... Oh, is it because we ran out of rare crystals in the middle of the fight? That's possible. That's why we should have left that edict off or purchase a bulk amount. Skill issue for sure. Recruit, deploy in orbit. Okay, well that's a bit of a problem. Luckily, they don't seem to have a ground army ready, so we might be able to defend ourselves. Let's turn some edicts on here. We should have had these edicts on. Fortify the border. We don't really have fleet supremacy here. Okay, you know, we definitely wanted to have a more chill game, but the AI is not giving that to us. So, let's go ahead and we're still that 2K tech and $400 though. So let's create a new fleet. Actually, let's just manually select to build it here. I wonder, was I accidentally building crest cruisers? That would explain it. But no, I did only damage to hulls, so I definitely had disruptors there. Maybe they have hardening. No, they are Grand Admiral AIs. They might literally have hardening at this stage of the game. I don't know. Because that definitely didn't seem very effective. By the way, if anyone has a video on how to identify ship designs from damage reports, please let me know, because that is something I'm definitely really bad at and don't actually know how to do. So if anyone could kind of show me how that works, or has a video. The first building I lost was the most important one. That is just perfect. Okay, we need to. What's wrong with my energy? What is wrong with my energy? Generator worlds. Where's my other generator worlds? Yeah, class cruisers. We won't be bullied. Although we're getting bullied pretty hard right now. Oh, they're at 15k now. Uh-oh. We don't worry about this. Okay, let's also reform our government. Actually, we have a few more uplifts now because we took so long. So species, uplift these guys. A little bit embarrassing to be playing one of the best builds in the game and losing to a 15k fleet at year 45, but hey, you know that is just the kind of player I am. I'm just that greedy. I would rather make 2k tech and be dead than make less and be able to defend myself, which is quite funny to be honest. Uh, they can't bombard me out of my ecology project, right? That would be annoying. Shipyard. Let's build some more cruisers here. Making 370 alloys feels like it should be better, right? Like, it just doesn't feel very good. I guess it's because we're in such a rush. As our capital devastation is increasing quickly. Yeah, definitely. I think it's time to move some of the pops off the mining worlds and onto some generator worlds. Nope, that's a generator world. Probably should move the Neocat girls instead of the other ones. I will say it is a bit of a shame that the Neocat girls don't have great habitability on the tomb worlds. That is one reason why we're slightly less efficient than we normally are with this many planets. But yeah, 15k fleet, I'm not going to be able to easily beat that. Having lost my initial fleet there, especially. Definitely what you'd call a skill issue. Oh, we do get Galcom, which is cool. I'm so curious, like, what are these ships? You know, why was that unable? Like, normally the AI ships suck, and you can defeat them in like a 2-for-1 kind of ratio. I definitely have defeated them like that before, right? So, uh-oh, we might be gone, guys. We might be dead. We might be dead here. Hmm. That's a lot of ships, guys. That's a lot of ships. Well, I guess the purifier was not that weak. It was definitely not that weak. Well, if I could take it back, I would have built more military. But hey, you know, our defensive pack got messed up. and we died. So pretty funny. Uh-oh. Are the armies of my capital dead? No, they're not. Definitely make sure we're annoying at least. Do we happen to have... We should definitely be doing this. I don't even think I have bunker tech. I don't think I took it. I don't have shield tech either, which is a bit annoying. Oh, I think they're taking over Cirrus. Cirrus... Let's see, was any of these an energy planet? Okay, no. Not a huge issue there. I don't even know why I'm researching this shit anymore. Like, oh, this is definitely annoying. Definitely annoying. Okay, at least they're bombarding us instead of immediately murdering us. Which is not. Uh-oh, 600 ground army. Yeah, that's not looking good. We might have to move in here. Um, this is a problem. This is a freaking problem, man. Oh no. Yeah, also what I was gonna do is I was gonna go into meritocracy and relentless industrialist. Let's just do it now to showcase what I would be doing if I wasn't dying of sadness. Probably something like this. Shadow Weaver, we definitely still need one of those. And a Minister of Defense, because, well, always have a Minister of Defense. I've learned my lesson from that many times. When you need naval cap and you can't get it, definitely a bit of a pain. Okay, let's definitely sell some minerals here, purchase some moats, and turn on our edicts for this main confrontation here. Let's get every cruiser we can in here. Though we need to go before our capital is dead. Did I let the main army through? Maybe, probably. Oh my god, we're in some other confrontation. Okay, focusing crystals on. Volatile reactive armor on. These are the two most important, I would say. Okay, we get that. Nice. Oh, there's another oh my god, they have like a 100k fleet. What the hell? Where did my ships even go? They're over here now. Well, at least this is exciting. I can't say I've had one of these on a single player video before. Um, yeah, I need to make a custom set of AIs where they're forced to spawn and none of them are purifiers. Um, yeah, otherwise this kind of thing can happen. And yeah, definitely not the best for build showcases, but I guess a pretty good simulation for multiplayer where you're just gonna get wrecked by the advanced start purifier. Well, anyways, guys, I hope you saw the purpose of this build. Making 400 alloys, even still, right? Normally we would be completely um, having a great time versus most other players at this point. Anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys next time.